most people are going to tell you that it fucking sucks, but they're definitely going to tell you that because it triggered them enough to be like, I hate this.
One funny story is I had my very first rap EP I ever put out back in the day, you know. And I worked so hard on it. I put it out and I submitted it to like the local paper, the Seattle Weekly. Like, hey, you know, you can pay them a little money and they'll do a review, you know, a one paragraph blurb about your thing on their review of new releases page. And it's like, oh yeah, Luke Rain, you know, he's definitely a solid MC and he's got pretty good beats on it, but you know, his style just isn't completely original. And I was like, huh. And I showed it to my friend who's a rapper, and he's like, what the fuck they mean not completely original? Like you use like beats and notes and English? Like, nobody's completely original. It made me feel so much better. This guy, shouts out to One Below, one of my favorite rappers of all time, who gave me that dope moment as a young MC.
Yeah.
Remind me not to worry too much.
At least one thing that 100 Gex can rest their hat on, I don't think anyone's going to say that.
I mean, there definitely is the whole like PC music movement right now, which has been like driven by the LGBT community, and that sort of like high-pitched sort of vocals came from people like transitioning and not being comfortable. From what I could tell, maybe I'm totally butchering this, but from what I see, it has really deep roots in the LGBT community. People transitioning, not being happy with their voice, and then just chopping it and screwing it and trying to make it sound more cutesy, more girly, more whatever. And I think they sort of played on that, but the thing is, too, I think why they blew up was they took this, I don't want to say formula, but they took these elements from pop music and hip hop and ska that people loved and worked, and their arrangements and their, you know, even the production is unique in a sense, yeah, but it's like everything coming together is what made that so unique. But all of the individual parts, you can find really strong connections with that in other genres.
Took the words right out of my mouth, man. Well said.
And yeah, in all fairness, I'm not super plugged into the PC music type stuff. So yeah, I mean, maybe even 100 Gex isn't completely original. Although I will say, I'm pretty sure that song, I Need Help Immediately. I'll
give them that one.
Because there is literally not even a musical phrase in that song. It is just noises, random fucking noises from all genres. There's like a random dubstep growl right in the middle of it, catches you off guard. The only thing that actually plays twice is the I Need Help Immediately sample, but it's not even processed the same. So not to rehash the whole 100 Gex thing again, but I did have another point that I wanted to make on the collaboration front, which is
we've only talked about 100 Gex like 5 times, so we have at least 95 more Gex to talk about.
One per Gex.
They are the ideal use case for making music that is remarkable. Purple Cow ass shit, like
remarkable as fuck. Yeah, man, that you can definitely talk about it. We can't shut up about it.
You're going to, yeah. Most people are going to tell you that it fucking sucks, but they're definitely going to tell you that because it triggered them enough to be like, I hate this. And they're still going to remark on it, which means that's good PR for you.
But see, the thing is, when you listen to an artist the first time and you're like, what the fuck? And then you're like, I couldn't fully digest that. Let me hear that one more time. And then you're like, I kind of get it. And then the third time you're like, okay, I see what they're going for. And then by the 5th time you're like, feels so clean like a money machine. Fuck yeah.
No, dude, I'm talking about like my wife. Like I played that shit for her. It was like, turn this fucking garbage off. Why are you even playing this right now? It is so bad. I can't listen to this.
Are you angry at my ears?
Why are you playing this on a Saturday? You're just ruining the Saturday right now. It's like, I think a lot of people would have that reaction. But moving on.
Better than indifference. And there's one more thing I want to say on that too. And I might have brought this up before. But there's a awesome quote I heard from somebody, and I can't remember where I heard this from, but they said, you send your music out, ask people what they absolutely hate about your stylistic choices, and double down on that.
Bro, you did on the 100 Gex episode, man.
Did I? Beautiful.
Yeah, dude.
Again.
On the one we couldn't shut up about it, bro. And I was like sitting here with my fingers crossed, like, say it again, say it again. Yes.
It's so fun.
People need to hear that, man. Like, polarizing shit, like we've been studying marketing. It's about finding that niche of people that really like this specific thing you're doing or the specific product or offer you're giving, more than trying to please everybody. Because the more you try to please everybody, the more you got to water it down, and then it doesn't grab anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Your elevator music. You cannot get offended by elevator music. You can be bored to sleep by it, though.
True.
Yeah, and all you need is 1,000 true fans to be making like a doctor's salary off your music. If you can provide $100 worth,
woo!
You can provide $100 worth of value to those fans that fucking love your music. Who cares if 1 million people hate it? Those 1,000 fans are going to be so diehard about what you do. And there's that bond, like when you're weirdos together about something you're passionate about and nobody else gets it, it becomes like a family. And that's one thing I noticed, like dubstep's a bit more mainstream, but like when I was getting into it, I noticed this. And when I was in the metal scene, I noticed this. It's just like a bunch of weirdos coming together and bonding over this thing that the rest of society doesn't really understand. And as soon as, like, you could be going about your day wherever you are and someone's like, oh, I listen to metal, or, oh, I listen to this underground hip hop group, or, oh, I'm into dubstep. You're like, yo, all right, tell me more, best friend. Like,
yeah, totally.
What's good?
And then it gets too popular and those same kids are like, oh, that shit's lame now. Everybody likes it now.
Yep.
I mean, like, Macklemore in the hip-hop community is one of those polarizing forces. Like, millions of people love his music and millions of people hate him for that. And it's like, man, I remember, like, before most people knew who he was, because he's from Seattle, so I've known about him forever. I've gone to his shows before, anybody knew who he was. And, like, everybody who knew about him was like, oh, this guy's so great. Everybody, I want to tell my friends, he's so good. He's definitely going to be the next one.
Oh, this is so sick. Seattle's finally got a guy in the hip-hop game.
Yeah.
Fucking do it.
And then as soon as he actually blew up, then all of a sudden a bunch of the local public, that same Seattle Weekly who was hating on my EP, was like, did a cover story of a drawing of sad-eyed Macklemore holding a sad-eyed puppy. And the headline was like, is this really who we want representing our city musically?
Yep.
And it's like, we finally get somebody else from our music scene to blow up, and the first thing you do is a takedown piece? And there's like nothing, you're not even saying anything bad about him. You're saying, well, he's like talking about these issues and he seems like he's like kind of,
The thing is, both of those opinions, love and hate, come from that same place of passion, just from a different perspective, whereas indifference doesn't come from anywhere. It's indifference. It's whatever. You want somebody to say, this is dog shit. Even better if they're like, this is so dog shit, you gotta listen to this right now. And one of those friends they show is like, yeah, this sucks. And then they go home and they're like, what was that called again? This is pretty dope.
Put that on my playlist real quick.
Totally. There is a distinction though, because I would say someone that is like acting at like a higher level of consciousness than the dude that's just fucking angry at the Seattle Weekly that writes hateful shit because he's jealous that he can't make good music himself.
Just throwing this out there, that's that entire paper.
Yeah. Dude, that's the thing. Like, that kind of culture breeds those thoughts within it and then fucking spews it out at a grand scale. But, like, the same the person that goes, this shit fucking sucks, or this shit is fucking whack as shit, but you need to listen to it. That person is actually, like, thoughtful and, like, understands the beauty in the art even though they don't like it. And then there's the person that goes like, oh, this is garbage, like blah blah blah, that like either they don't understand it or they just like want to have the opinion of not liking it because it provides more power and an argument. There's a big distinction there between someone that and like the original point that I was thinking of is like indifference doesn't necessarily mean that that person doesn't have an informed opinion. Indifference actually might mean that they are a real music lover. They are an informed critic of that subject, and they appreciate what that person is doing, but don't think that the execution was right, or like maybe they're just like, well, they didn't quite get it, you know? Like, I would say that that is a form of indifference that comes from a good place.
I don't know if indifference is appreciation, because to me, indifference, and I agree, indifference usually comes from people that are really into music. And the reason they're indifferent is like, oh, like, cool, like they're doing this thing that X band is doing already. And like, it just sounds like a carbon copy of this band, and they do it better because that's their sound. So I'm just going to listen to them. But what the thing when you have a group or an artist or whatever that can bring multiple influences and they converge and they're well mixed, usually, like, okay, maybe there are different kinds of indifference. Like maybe somebody could just be like, oh, it's cool, but like the execution is just like not my taste or whatever. But I'm talking more the indifference
more like discernment
of like
than indifference.
Sure.
Like, just like showing deference is like having an emotive opinion, and indifference is not. Like I heard it and I didn't think anymore about it. Like, okay, next song, whatever.
That's true.
I feel like that comes from when a band is copying or an artist is copying another artist's sound, whereas you can have somebody listen to it and be like, it doesn't do anything for me. But you don't want somebody to be like, well, why would I listen to Rip Kenny when this person does this exact thing and I could listen to them?
Yeah. Why would I listen to Zomboy when Skrillex put out the same song?
Because Zomboy put it
much
out
love
first.
to both. Much love to both of them, but they're both dope.
Skrillex, Zomboy already made this song. Skrillex copied him. You know, like that is the perfect cauldron of discontent.
Hey, all's fair in love and bro step, y'all.
Exactly.
Oh my god. As I was playing those for you guys, I was having the thought, and I do have a thought about fucking collabs that I want to get back to.
Yes.
Eventually. But as I was playing those two for you guys, I had the thought, like, fuck, that sound is like the exact same, and like that B section riff is the exact same. I wonder if Skrillex went back after hearing Zomboy release the first one and be like, this motherfucker, I'm going to change some shit to make it sound even more like what he made, and then tell the story of what happened so that there is no doubt.
Has Skrillex ever done like one questionable thing ever? I feel pretty inclined to trust him.
I trust the fuck out of that guy. He seems like the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although
he
there was a
well.
period there where so many of those like early adopter dubstep fans were hating him because, it was our private little sub-niche genre that nobody listened to but us, and now he just gave it to everybody. I hate him. He's the worst. And then he just kept making incredible music, and all those people eventually shut up.
When now we have to innovate.
Yeah, I was like, when they were all mad, I was like, and I was like listening to some of the stuff that they're like, this is the real dubstep. And I'm like, I mean, as a rap and pop music fan that's getting into EDM, I like Skrillex better, and that's probably why you hate him.
I mean, the real dubstep resurfaced like 2-3 years ago as rhythm, and now that's like, now that's the new wave.
Yo, I love
quote unquote new wave.
I love how Dylan talked about that on the dub music weekly download recently, where he's like, yeah, well, dub music was the stuff from Jamaica, and then dubstep was this like kind of dubby, chilled out electronic thing, and then Americans took it and made it aggro as hell. And then they're like, all right, well, what we're doing isn't that, so we'll call it rhythm, which is like another Jamaican vibey concept. And then Americans are like, yeah, rhythm, we'll make it aggro as hell. Metal.
That's America. Bigger, better, more freedom, more eagles, more stars,
Bigger gun.
bigger guns.
Oh yeah.
Dicks.
Yeah. Burn it all down. And then get mad at people for burning it down.
I mean, see, I like hearing the differences that different areas will bring to a sound. Like like, I think we're mostly exposed to that because we're here in the Western world, but like hearing like UK dubstep artists still, there's a bunch, that are doing like the more American sound, but there's a bunch too that are doing their own thing. Or you look at like drill or something, which originated in Chicago, and it was this way more aggressive form of, I mean, it's not that simple, but like, let's just say it's an offshoot of rap. And then
it is for
like,
sure.
Yeah, but it's like I just don't want to make it seem that simple because it's got like its own, differentiating factors. And then you hear like UK drill, and then there's like Australian drill, and there's like
Brooklyn
New Zealand drill. Yeah, even
came
in
all
different
the way
parts of
back
America.
around the world.
100%. So
I like it. What's up, humans? It's Luke, your friendly neighborhood trap Jesus. Thank you so much for watching our videos. We appreciate you. Remember to like and subscribe to our channels. And if you have any questions or topics that we need to cover on the show, put them in the comments. Appreciate you. Peace and peace among worlds.